I'm here today to talk with you about the Virginia Values Act, which goes into effect on July 1st of 2020. This is the first in a multi-part series of videos about this act. This was a significant law in Virginia that our General Assembly passed in the last session, and it has some really important provisions for business owners to understand because it's going to impact your terms with your employees and how you conduct yourself as an employer in Virginia. So stay tuned. And right now, let's get into the first couple of provisions. So you may have heard of this act. It was covered widely in the newspaper because it gave new expanded protections for employees who are LGBTQ and prevents them from being fired simply because of their LGBTQ status. However, most of the media coverage didn't go into other provisions in the act that are really significant to Virginia employers, and I want to talk about those. First of all, the Virginia Values Act contains a relatively long list of actions by employers that are now considered discriminatory and that could result in lawsuits for businesses that have more than 15 employees. Even relatively small businesses need to understand what is considered discriminatory actions under the Virginia Values Act so that you don't unknowingly discharge an employee for reasons that it turns out are discriminatory under the law. Furthermore, even businesses with as few as 6 employees could be subject to legal claims that there was a wrongful discharge. The expansion of what's considered discriminatory acts will be a significant issue for business owners to understand in the coming months. I'm going to have a blog post with more details on this soon. Secondly, there are also now broad protections for employees who report violations of any federal or state law or regulation. So this protection for whistleblowers is now much broader than it used to be under Virginia law. So if you have an employee who blows the whistle on your business practices because they believe you violated any federal or state law, you have to be very cautious not to retaliate against that employee and to take other steps to make sure that you haven't done that. So those are two of the provisions in the Virginia Values Act. There's a lot more. Stay tuned for our additional videos on this. This is just part 1. I'm Tricia Dunlap with Dunlap Law PLC in Richmond, Virginia. We're going to have extensive resources for employers on these issues on our website. So I hope you'll stay tuned to that.